The Tortoise and the Hare, a timeless tale of perseverance and humility in a peaceful forest nestled between towering mountains and a serene river. A community of animals thrived. This forest was a tapestry of verdant trees, blossoming flowers, and a chorus of chirping birds that harmonized with the rustling leaves. Among its inhabitants were two creatures of distinct dispositions and talents, the tortoise and the hare. The hare, known throughout the forest as Flash, was the fastest animal in the land. He boasted sleek, muscular legs and a coat that shimmered like silver in the sunlight. Flash prided himself on his speed and agility, often bragging to his fellow forest dwellers about his unmatched swiftness. His days were filled with rapid dashes through the forest, leaping over streams, and racing against the wind itself. His confidence bordered on arrogance, and he enjoyed the admiration and envy of the other animals. Contrastingly, the tortoise, affectionately named Steady, was known for his slow, methodical pace. With a shell that was a mosaic of earthen tones and eyes that radiated wisdom and tranquility, Steady embodied patience. He moved through life at a deliberate pace, savoring each moment and paying attention to the details that others might overlook. While the other animals saw Steady as dependable and wise, they often underestimated his potential due to his slow movement. One crisp autumn morning, as the forest was painted in hues of amber and gold, Flash found himself basking in the admiration of a group of young squirrels. He recounted his latest sprint to the edge of the forest, embellishing details for added effect. The young ones listened with wide-eyed wonder, their tails flicking with excitement. Steady, who had been nearby munching on some tender greens, listened to Flash's tales with a serene smile. He had heard these stories many times before and had grown fond of the hare's energetic spirit, despite its boastful nature. But today, something was different. Steady felt a surge of determination to impart a lesson about humility and perseverance to his forest companions. "Flash," Steady called out in his measured tone, "your speed is truly remarkable, but I wonder, could you maintain such speed over a long distance?" Flash turned to face Steady, his ears twitching with amusement. "Of course, Steady. There's no one in this forest who can match my speed, whether it's a short dash or a long run." Steady nodded thoughtfully. "Then perhaps you would be willing to put it to the test. Let's have a race, from here to the old oak tree at the far end of the forest." A wave of laughter rippled through the gathered animals. The idea of the slow-moving tortoise challenging the swift hare seemed absurd to them. Flash, ever the showman, saw an opportunity to further solidify his status as the fastest creature in the forest. "You're on, Steady," Flash declared with a wide grin. "But don't be too upset when I leave you far behind." The forest buzzed with excitement as news of the race spread. Animals of all shapes and sizes gathered along the proposed route, eager to witness the spectacle. Birds perched on branches for the best views, while deer and foxes lined the path, chattering animatedly about the upcoming event. On the morning of the race, the forest was alive with anticipation. The starting point was marked near a large, smooth rock, and a straight path had been cleared through the forest, leading to the venerable old oak tree. Flash stood at the start, stretching his legs and warming up with impressive leaps and bounds. Steady arrived with his characteristic calm, taking his place beside Flash without any fanfare. The forest elder, a wise old owl named Hare, took his position to officiate the race. His feathers were tinged with gray, and his eyes held the wisdom of countless years. As he raised his wing to signal the start, the forest fell into a hushed silence. "On your marks," Hare began, his voice resonating through the air. "Get set, go." With a burst of energy, Flash sprang forward, leaving a cloud of dust in his wake. He dashed down the path with lightning speed, quickly disappearing from sight. The spectators gasped at his incredible start, marveling at the sheer speed of the hare. Steady, in stark contrast, took his first step forward with unhurried precision. He moved one foot in front of the other, his eyes focused on the path ahead. The animals watched him with a mix of curiosity and skepticism, wondering how he could possibly hope to compete with Flash. Flash, meanwhile, was reveling in his early lead. He zipped through the forest, his powerful legs propelling him effortlessly over fallen logs and around large boulders. After several minutes of running at full speed, Flash decided he had put enough distance between himself and Steady. He slowed to a stop and looked back, chuckling to himself as he saw no sign of his competitor. "This race is in the bag," Flash thought smugly. "I might as well take a little break and enjoy the morning." He found a comfortable patch of grass beneath a shady tree and lay down to rest. The sun was warm on his fur, and the gentle breeze lulled him into a sense of tranquility. Flash closed his eyes, intending to take a brief nap before continuing to the finish line. Steady, meanwhile, continued his steady pace. He moved through the forest with a quiet determination, his mind focused on each step. He admired the beauty around him, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, the songs of birds, the vibrant colors of wildflowers. To him, the journey was as important as the destination. As Steady moved along, he encountered various forest friends who cheered him on. The squirrels chattered words of encouragement, the birds sang melodies of support, and even the normally aloof foxes nodded in approval. Steady acknowledged them with a gentle smile and kept moving forward, unwavering in his resolve. Flash, still resting under the tree, awoke with a start. He had intended to nap for just a few minutes, but the sun's position told him he had slept longer than planned. Panic set in as he realized he had no idea how far Steady had progressed. Scrambling to his feet, Flash resumed the race with renewed urgency, his legs pumping furiously as he sped down the path. The forest seemed to blur around him as Flash pushed himself to his limits. He knew he had to catch up to Steady and regain his lead. His muscles burned with exertion, but he ignored the discomfort, driven by his desire to win. As he rounded a bend, Flash caught sight of Steady in the distance. The tortoise was still moving at his consistent pace, inching closer to the finish line. Flash felt a surge of relief and confidence. He was sure he could overtake Steady before they reached the old oak tree. With a burst of speed, Flash closed the gap between them. He dashed past Steady with a triumphant grin, shouting, "See you at the finish line, slowpoke." Steady glanced at Flash and nodded, undeterred by the taunt. He continued his methodical progress, each step a testament to his unwavering determination. Flash, now in the lead once again, felt a surge of exhilaration. He was certain victory was his. The finish line was within sight, and he was moving at an incredible pace. The cheering of the animals grew louder as they saw Flash approaching the old oak tree, but then, something unexpected happened. Flash, pushing himself to the limit, felt a sudden cramp in his leg. The sharp pain forced him to slow down, and he stumbled, struggling to maintain his speed. Panic set in as he realized that his earlier nap had taken a toll on his stamina. Meanwhile, Steady kept moving forward, his steady pace unbroken. He saw Flash ahead, struggling but still determined. Steady felt a sense of respect for Flash's effort, but he also knew that the race was not just about speed, it was about perseverance. With each step, Steady drew closer to the finish line. The animals watched in awe as the tortoise, who had been considered an unlikely contender, approached the old oak tree. Flash, despite his efforts to recover, could not regain his earlier momentum. As Steady reached the finish line, a wave of cheers erupted from the crowd. The forest echoed with the sounds of applause and shouts of admiration. Steady had done it, he had won the race. Flash arrived moments later, his head hanging low in disappointment. He had underestimated Steady and paid the price for his arrogance. The forest animals gathered around Steady, celebrating his victory and praising his determination. Oren, the wise old owl, flew down from his perch and addressed the crowd. Today, we have witnessed a remarkable lesson. Speed and talent are valuable, but perseverance and humility are equally important. Steady has shown us that even the slowest among us can achieve greatness through patience and determination. Flash approached Steady, his expression one of genuine respect. Congratulations, Steady. You truly deserve this victory. I learned a valuable lesson today. Steady smiled warmly. Thank you, Flash. We all have our strengths, but it's important to remember that perseverance and humility can carry us far. I'm glad we had this race, it taught us both something valuable. The forest animals celebrated Steady's victory with a grand feast. There was laughter, music, and dancing as the community came together to honor the tortoise's achievement. Steady's story became a legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of perseverance. As the sun set over the forest, casting a golden glow on the old oak tree, Flash and Steady sat together, sharing stories and enjoying the camaraderie of their fellow creatures. The forest was alive with joy, and the bonds between its inhabitants had been strengthened by the day's events. In the weeks that followed, Flash's attitude shifted noticeably. He no longer bragged incessantly about his speed. Instead, he took the time to listen and learn from those around him. He sought out Steady for advice on patience and strategy, realizing that there was much wisdom to be gained from the tortoise's approach to life. One day, as Flash and Steady were walking together through the forest, Flash confessed, "You know, Steady, I always thought that being the fastest meant I was the best. But now I understand that there's more to life than just speed. Your perseverance and calmness under pressure are qualities I want to develop." Steady nodded, pleased with Flash's newfound perspective. "It's never too late to learn and grow, Flash. We all have something to offer, and we can all improve ourselves in different ways." Their friendship blossomed, and Flash began to apply the lessons he had learned from Steady to other aspects of his life. He became more considerate of others, more willing to lend a helping hand, and more humble in his achievements. The forest animals noticed the change and respected him even more for it. As time passed, Steady and Flash continued to challenge each other in various ways. They organized community events, such as obstacle courses and relay races, where animals of all abilities could participate and have fun. These events became popular, fostering a spirit of camaraderie and mutual respect among the forest dwellers. One sunny afternoon, Flash and Steady decided to take a leisurely stroll to the old oak tree that had marked the finish line of their famous race. As they walked, they reminisced about that pivotal day and the lessons it had imparted. "Remember how you called me a slowpoke?" Steady teased, his eyes twinkling with amusement. Flash chuckled, shaking his head. "I do, and I cringe every time I think about it. I was so full of myself back then." "Well, it was a valuable experience for both of us," Steady said thoughtfully. "It taught me the importance of staying true to oneself and not being swayed by others' opinions." As they reached the old oak tree, they found a group of young animals gathered around, listening to an elderly deer recount the story of the race. The young ones listened in awe, their eyes wide with wonder. Steady and Flash exchanged smiles, pleased to see their story continuing to inspire others. The elderly deer spotted them and beckoned them over. "Ah, here are our legendary races now. Would you both like to say a few words?" Steady and Flash stepped forward, greeted by enthusiastic applause. Steady spoke first, his voice calm and steady as always. "I'm honored to see our story being shared with the younger generation. Remember, everyone, that persistence and determination can lead you to achieve great things, even if the journey seems slow and difficult." Flash nodded in agreement. "And never underestimate the power of humility and learning from others. Speed and talent are important, but they must be balanced with wisdom and patience. We all have unique strengths, and together, we can achieve wonderful things." The young animals clapped and cheered, inspired by the words of wisdom from the two friends. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the forest, Steady and Flash made their way back home, content in the knowledge that their story would continue to inspire future generations. Years passed, and the forest remained a place of harmony and growth. Flash and Steady's friendship endured, and they continued to support and learn from each other. Their story became a cornerstone of the forest's culture, a testament to the enduring power of perseverance, humility, and friendship. One particularly vibrant spring, a new challenge arose in the forest. A series of unusual weather patterns had caused the river to swell, threatening to flood the homes of many forest animals. The community sprang into action, working together to build barriers and dig channels to divert the water. Flash used his speed and agility to gather materials and deliver messages quickly, coordinating efforts across the forest. Steady, with his knowledge of the terrain and his calm, strategic mind, helped plan the most effective ways to protect their homes. Together, they led the community in a united effort to safeguard their forest. Through the combined strengths, the forest animals managed to avert the disaster. The river's waters were redirected, and the homes were saved. The experience brought the community even closer together, highlighting the importance of cooperation and the value of each individual's contribution. As the forest returned to its peaceful rhythm, Steady and Flash took a moment to reflect on their journey. Sitting by the river, watching the water flow gently past, they felt a deep sense of gratitude for the bond they had formed and the lessons they had learned. "Steady," Flash said, breaking the comfortable silence, "I'm glad we had that race all those years ago. It changed my life in ways I never expected." "Me too, Flash," Steady replied with a warm smile. It showed us both the importance of balance and the strength that comes from understanding and appreciating each other's differences. Their friendship had become a symbol of unity and mutual respect in the forest, inspiring countless stories and lessons for generations to come. The tale of the tortoise and the hare was no longer just a story about a race. It was a story about the power of perseverance, the value of humility, and the strength found in friendship. As the sun set over the forest, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Steady and Flash made their way back home, side by side. The forest was alive with the sounds of life, a testament to the enduring spirit of its inhabitants and the timeless lessons that continued to guide them. Answer. The legacy of the tortoise and the hare lived on, a beacon of wisdom and inspiration for all who called the forest home.
Thanks for watching. For more content, subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment on this video.